So the reason I brought this question or this topic up, are there any complementary activities or recreational pastimes that support your practice? Part of this channel is to sort of create like, I guess, an idea of like how a modern lifestyle can be used to feed into and support with everything, because we're so awash in things like media. I mean, managing screen time is a real thing. It's very hard not to interact with a screen nowadays, whether it's a phone screen or a laptop screen or whatever. So David, I would love to hear from you, are there any complementary activities or recreational pastimes that support your practice?
Obviously, the most direct one is astrology, right? But there are a number of recreational pastimes. Basically, the answer is that, like I said earlier, when you get to a certain point in like prioritizing your life correctly, the spiritual becomes everything that you do. So all of my complementary activities, all of my recreational part times support my practice in that way. I like to paint. It supports my practice because I bring my practice to my painting. I have the priority of that being the most important thing that I do. So I bring it to everything that I am doing. All right, and all the interactions that I have with other people become a part of my practice. So every complementary activity becomes a part of my practice, and every pastime becomes a part of my practice. And there's no reason why it couldn't be the same, or shouldn't be the same, or won't be the same for any of you. All of your life, your whole of your life can be folded into your practice and become a part of your practice and enriched by it, as well as it enriches your practice. And like if you're a sculptor, it'll be enriched a certain way. And if you're a dancer, it'll be enriched another way. It's more physical with your body in some ways, right? And in others, it's more mental. But there's all these things that you can use. For me, it's role-playing games. They have always been the one thing that has been in my life, right? That has been like, I love them. They're my big passion. I've been like into them since D&D came out when it was, first arrived in the 1970s. Yeah, I'm that old. I remember the whole history of it. Um, and that for me has become a wonderful tool for my practice, because um, there are ways in which you can use that kind of entertainment experience to transform people's lives. It's a commonly known experience that you can go into a role-playing game and have a transformative experience that changes your perspective on yourself, changes your perspective on life, or changes your perspective on something, and then you can come out of it, right? Well, obviously, that's huge, right? As far as like initiation is concerned. So I've had many games, stories, told many stories in which I've explored aspects of my identity, aspects of interaction, all kinds of aspects of imagination, develop my imagination. That's a big thing with Hermetics as well, right? So for me, it's always been role-playing games.
Wonderful, thank you. And just a quick one: do you have, for those in the audience who are into role-playing games or are curious for tabletop or otherwise, is there one that maybe one that people don't know about that you would suggest they could look into, as that might be appropriate?
For Biden and anyone interested in magic, there's only one, and that's Mage The Ascension by Phil Brocato and White Wolf Game Studios. It's just a huge occult philosophical treatise in itself. Just reading it is an education in occult practices all over the world and throughout time and space. It's just a ton of stuff in that book that you can enjoy and tell stories with that basically strongly directly apply to Hermetic practice in a lot of cases. I've played that game a lot. So that's the one that would come to mind for me. And it's a kitchen sink thing, right? It's marketed as a horror game, but actually it's more of a take what you like from it. Fantasy, science fiction, or horror. It's all three.
Oh, I love that. Awesome. Thank you for that. All right. Hot tip, everyone. Go check out Mage the Ascension. Didi and Armand, have you got any complementary or recreational pastimes that, that have become part of your practice, or something you brought that have come with you that you found ways to apply practice to, or to complement practice, or so on and so forth. I'd love to hear.
Yeah, it's actually the same, not the complete answer, but the same answer as David was saying. Like, everything becomes a complementary activity to support the practice. Like, I'm really into food, and with the nutritional qigong, the 5-element food. So bringing it to your practice, it's like even going to grocery shopping. You're going in there, and you feel like, okay, what do I feel like? What do I want to eat? What kind of energy do I want to bring into my body? And so you start. I only go to like organic shops. So, and then you just kind of roam around, like, okay, what feels good for me now in this season, in this particular day, and then I really interact with the food. So this is already kind of part of my practice. Like, okay, and then cooking, very mindful, very it's a practice on itself. And then again, when we eat,
That's the best part.
that's especially he's like, wow. He finished a meal and he already wants to know what's next. So okay, but when we sit, we don't start sitting at the table, but we do our how do you call that,
A ritual.
our ritual,
For our affirmations, and we stand up and we tune into life force, and we say all these things and repeat them, and they become more powerful. And then and you measure some days it's a little less power. It's like, oh, what's happening? So next day, now it's better again. So there's so much ritual. Isn't food like the center of what we do?
Actually, yes.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yes. It kind of brought me on this path. Yes. It was always something. First, it bothered me. Like, I always had stomach aches, and so this kind of got me on this path. And now it's kind of, this is what it's like. It boosted my practice. It's the thing that started it, and it's kind of the thing that really it inspires me every day. It's what brings it's the start. It's part of my day every day. And so even charging the food, eating the food, being very conscious eating, and so that's for me is a very strong one. Talking about this question.
Improve. I mean, training, everything seems to improve, right? The taste experience, just the mindfulness of anything, how it's in the mouth, how it goes down, how is that an hour later, how it feel good, or maybe it's like
we do these 5-day workshops with people, and really going through the ascension path, going through all the different stages. And then in the middle of the week, we also do lunches together. And then on the Wednesday, we do a tasting session, but we tune into energy. And then we ask everybody to really feel, and not just tasting, not just the mouth, but what happens to your system? What happens, the taste, the energy, the cold, warm, but then also the emotions that come up. And there is the emotions are related to, or for most of us, lots of the food trigger emotion. And why we eat the way we do, it's like conditioned, but it's also something, what do we want to nourish in our bodies? So Yeah, this is so interesting, especially when you see people having. Most people are addicted to coffee, and that's what you see on the roads. It's addicted to sugar, but when you hear them talk about it, it's like, oh, what's underneath? It's a whole it's kind of.
This could be a podcast in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. It's so huge.
Yeah.
And so forgotten sometimes. Also in the practice, it's like it's so important. What are you bringing into your system and why? And making that a mindful thing. Yeah, for sure.
And also, like, this is also for journaling. What in the morning when you do your practice, if you meditate and you feel like, oh, I don't have the concentration, what did you do the day before? Because it can have such a big impact on how your state is the next day. And I just mentioned coffee. So many people nowadays drink so much coffee. How do you feel drinking this? What did you feed by taking all this coffee? And so what do you have to do to kind of come in the right zone the next day if you take all this stuff? I mean, it's most people, when they're going on this journey, at some point you have to look at your food.
Yeah.
So
super important. Yeah.
It's a lot. Yeah. There's so much to say about this, but I will now.
Yeah, I was just going to say, look, food totally qualifies as a recreational pastime on top of the fact it's a primary need. But, I eat pretty simple and I like my regular simple meal, but I have to say I still enjoy it. And the more I can focus on the meal and go through my rituals, the richer it becomes.